Welcome to the Probably Soccer podcast, where we probably talk about soccer. My name's Eddie,
My name's Justin.
and we are your hosts. Today, we'll be recapping a great opening weekend for the Gainbridge USL Super League. We'll be awarding our dog of the week and a little top five of different observations we've made and teams we want to highlight throughout the week. And as always, end with our predictions for this upcoming weekend of soccer. Should be a great episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy because this is probably soccer. Justin, how we doing?
Dude, how good can these girls play? Super League has been phenomenal.
Dude, come on, a bunch of dogs. I've been trying to tell you, Justin. I've been trying
Dude,
to tell you.
we're locked in.
And
Dude,
especially,
it's been a great week, and there's so much soccer on right now.
it's awesome. Like, literally, I was like, we are so back. Like, I was at the power game last night. My thought mob, like, had the countdown to the game, and I was like, oh, wow, we're back. And then I was like showing up to the game, and I was like, oh, wow, I got the DC United countdown. Like, we are like actually so back. And I'm like chatting with the ticket reps that have overlap now because United and Power work together. And I was like, wow, like feed me this. This is so awesome.
Put it in your
Um,
veins.
Inject it into my veins. So I think we jump right in. Um, we got to talk about Super League a little bit last week, but it's taken me a while to get you to really lock in. And so it seems like you were more locked in really than I was because I was at a game, so I wasn't able to hop around. So I'm curious, Justin, your first full weekend of Super League action. How you feeling?
I think, well, first off, I'm feeling great. If good soccer's played, we're doing a good job. I mean, like,
Come
we're in
on.
a good mood, right?
Come on.
But man, I thought, your first thing you think about with there being only 8 teams in the league is you're like, how saturated is, like, the product and, like,
Mhm.
what's this gonna look like? It's very different than anything we're used to, like, on a bigger scale. But it didn't take away from the experience at all. I mean, we went to the Trinity Dash game, that being a friendly. That's an NWSL team playing against a Super League team. But, I
And the
mean,
Trinity won.
we
Let us be clear.
hey,
The
Trinity
Trinity
did
won.
win. Shout out. But I thought it was really good. I enjoyed all the games. The only one I didn't really get to watch was the Sporting Jacks game, but, I mean, it was okay. I can't we saw it, it was kinda fine, but man, these girls can play. I saw some really, like, just high quality soccer from all around, and from the little I did watch last season to this season, you can tell how just fluctuating these teams are and how much. I mean, Trinity alone, or they look entirely different than they did last season from the little I did watch.
Yeah, I mean, I put out that Instagram reel on, like, Thursday or Friday before the weekend started and the season started, and one of the things I pointed out about the Trinity is, new coach, new ownership, bunch of new signings. It'd be really int I think they probably seems like they had the most change of any of the teams going from last season to this season, and so I was really interested to see how they would play, how that game would go, and we'll talk more specifically about that game in a little bit because one nice thing about it being 8 teams is we can pretty much sort of mention each game. Um, but yeah, I love that the Super League is back. I love that you're finally locked in. I got you reeled in. We'll say that. And so I thought it'd be fun just to sort of, walk through each game, just sort of observations. I think there's a lot to discuss in each. You obviously can take the lead on the Trinity. I can take the lead on the Power, and ultimately, and then sort of make some predictions because one thing that makes this season specifically so exciting is the fact that it is a sprint season, and so there's only 14 games total regular season, and so I've literally granted, every game already did matter, but more than ever, like, you can't drop points. You have
Yeah.
to win. You have to get that draw. You have to get going, and so I think that adds, like, almost another level of excitement just going into it of just like, "Oh, these games really matter. These girls have come to play, and they have to win." And so I think there's one of the games was a 3-0 trouncing, and it's just very interesting, the reigning champions, Lexington SC, um, it seems like they've still got their dogs, which I mentioned in the reel. And so, Justin, I think you wanted to crown our first ever dog of the week.
Yeah, I don't think it's a competition. I
Mhm.
don't even think it's close. You were talking about how every game matters, and if one team showed up to kinda, like, show, "Hey, this is week 1, but we're not taking it. We're this could be a playoff game to us," it was definitely Lexington, and it's an easy crown this week. I think their leader, Catherine Berry, is our dog of the week. Let's go for Catherine. Let's get up, Catherine.
Maybe I shouldn't be barking right now. It's the dog of the week.
It's the dog of the
It could be
week.
a bad look. I don't know, but I mean, we love women's sports here in the Probably Soccer podcast. And I agree. Cat Berry is insane. I literally
Yep.
name dropped her in the reel because I was like, she was insane last season. Another one of the goal scorers for Lexington. Need to point out, I'm blanking on her name, but she is the first to score 20 goals in the USL Super League. So um,
Was it McCain or White?
yeah, Addie McCain, Addie McCain. I knew
Addison
it would come
McCain.
to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So congratulations to Addie on the 20 goals in the USL Super League. Lexington, they just still look really good. Like they haven't seems like they haven't missed a beat from last season. And I don't know if I'm just overreacting because they're playing Brooklyn, um, or if it's just because it's week one and sort of the other ones were kind of the other games felt like a mid off almost, and like you could tell those teams were adjusting, and Lexington was actually ready heading into the weekend. But yeah, just full of dogs. But Cat Bear, congratulations on being the first ever probably soccer dog of the week.
Dog of the week. Yeah, I think to hit your point, just like Lexington came to play, and it
Yes,
might be that Brooklyn is just so bad that we are, kinda like witnessing just
I want to
what a
go to a
really
game
good
there
team.
so bad. Like their stadium is so cool. It's a like old minor league baseball stadium, still maybe still
Oh,
baseball
that's
stadium, but
dope.
there's like roller coasters behind it. So I want to go so bad on Coney Island.
That's
Anyways,
so sick.
just
That's
side note
sick.
there.
I didn't actually know that. But that being said, the, yeah, Lexington came to play. I think there was a certain intensity that you wanted to see these teams come out with, and I think with the other games, you saw them for glimpses, but Lexington throughout the whole entire game, I think was just incredible, and they came to play.
Yeah, and a similar team that came to play but did not win. I think it's time that we discuss my DC Power.
Mm.
Um, I'm a proud season ticket holder, and I was very excited. Brought two of the boys. We've been locked in on the Power since about halfway through last season, and I this is a fun fact. Um, Last season, every home game that I missed, the Power either won or drew or lost, obviously, but they won most of them. And every game that I went to, they either drew or they lost.
Mm.
In this game, they lost. And so I've been to, I think, 6 or 7 home games now, and I still have never seen them win a game in person. And so I don't know if it's me, and I need to stop going to these games. I remember last season when they were in the playoff race, like, towards the end, part of me was like, "I can't go to these games because they're gonna lose and not make playoffs." But I also was like, "I spent my hard-earned money on this season ticket, so I have to go."
You got
But
it.
the new signings for the Power that they made in the offseason played really well. I think most of the starting lineup were new-ish signings. They're, some familiar faces, but the goalie was insane. Um, I'm blanking on her name, which I shouldn't be doing, but she was awesome. She did really well. That one goal from Carolina was just insane. Katie Capoletti, that's um the goalie for the Power. But that one goal, I can't even be mad at Capoletti just because the Carolina, attack just set it up perfectly, and the DC Power defense was just not fully ready for it, and it was a beautiful setup to the header, and, like, the goalie couldn't even move because it was just so, like, perfect, if that makes sense, and so I was like I was actually in the bathroom when, the goal happened, and so like, wasn't watching the game when it happened, but I hear over the loudspeaker, "Goal for Carolina sent." I literally texted my buddy I was with, and I sent a bad word, in reaction to that, and then I got back out there, but the Power, they had an equalizer that got called offside, in the second half. So it was just a shame that that happened, but their attack is much better than last season. Really defending too, I was very impressed. We dominated possession, we dominated attacking, we really dominated most stats. One thing that sucks about the Super League is it's pretty hard to find stats. I wish Flopmop had it readily available like they do for MLS and WSL. Even now, League One and Championship, USL, they have those. But it's hard to get those for Super League. I guess you get the old-fashioned way of going to some websites. Um, but they overall, I think, have improved since last season. I think if things can start clicking, I think they can make the run for playoffs based off of just what I saw from that team last night. It was really awesome. Carolina, though, continues to own us. I will say 2 of those home games I went to last season were against Carolina, and they lost both of them. And now I've now watched Power lose 3 times to Carolina. And you were watching the game, like, what did you notice, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it all on the head. I don't think the DC Power played bad at all. I don't think
No.
either team played bad at
Like,
all.
I'm not
I think
upset about it.
no, and the goal was so good. Like, it's just one of those where you can't like, you just have to tip your hat, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you just she made the run, and when you could just see it happening. It's almost like it happened in slow motion. I know you were in the bathroom, so totally different experience for you. But for me, as I was watching it, it's just like it was like a slow motion, like, is she really gonna, like, cover that ground and make it happen? And yeah, no, impressive goal. I think both sides played super well, and they made it really fun too. It wasn't like,
Yeah. It
sometimes
genuinely
it's a
was
1-0.
just a very fun game to be at, just
Yeah,
play-wise, like, I was super locked in. There was a good crowd there. Normally, it's kinda not, but I remember I turned to my buddy and I go, "Is this an atmosphere?" I was like "Is it are we having an atmosphere right now?" Because it does like, they play at Audi Field, which is a beautiful stadium, but when it comes to leagues like this, it just feels so defeating because there's, like, only, like, 1,500 people there in a stadium that seats 20K, so it just feels like no
yeah,
one's there, but I don't know, I feel like they're building something up. Like, last night, I was like, "It feels like an atmosphere," which was really fun. But there's another team that plays in a very large stadium in this league. The Dallas Trinity had their home opener against Tampa Bay. You weren't able to be there, but you watched the game. Tell me
I
about it.
did. Yeah,
What'd
I
you
think,
notice?
so obviously I wasn't locked into the whole league last season, but, the Trinity, I was able to catch games off. Dallas
Mhm.
native. I love my Dallas teams. I wanna support in every single way we can. Heck, if we I don't even know, do we have a lacrosse team? I would probably support that if we had that.
There used to be
But
one in Fort Worth, but it folded.
I'm glad you know that.
I went to a game. I went to a game, so
Yeah.
I had a shirt
Um,
too. Rip.
that's kinda dope. Anyway, but obviously, like, this being a big year for the Trinity, new coach, a bunch of major signings. One of those signings being our goalie. Let me not mess up her name. Purcell, Purcell. Hopefully, I didn't mess that up too bad. But I thought, like, watching the whole entire game, the whole entire time, I'm like, okay, defense is breaking down. That's gonna be goal, and it just
Mhm.
kept getting saved, and it kept getting saved, and it kept getting saved. I She did a phenomenal job, and if I have to give any credit to anybody, I think she's who we should really be clapping it out for.
Mhm.
The, I thought from a front from or from like, a first third and a back third, we looked great. Our midfield just has to improve. Every single time the the girls would, like, pass it over the middle or, um, Tampa would just like, all they needed to do was kinda just get it past that initial line of defense,
Mhm.
and we couldn't do anything. They were just faster than us. So, all that being said, I thought Tampa Bay looked really good. They're super fast. Their wingers, like, they would be midfield and then they'd be in the back third, like, super quickly. And I think that was the biggest thing for our defenses we had to improve. That being said, when we were able to collect ourselves, I thought we looked more disciplined than last year. I thought we looked more collected. I thought the girls knew exactly what they were like, where they needed to be.
Mhm.
And I think that comes down from coaching. What I wasn't like, you could tell at the beginning of the game, like, everyone knew their assignment and everyone was being disciplined in that. And that kind of hurt us in the way of, like, we needed a little bit of creativity. We needed a little bit of shot making. And obviously we got that because you look at the second half. I don't know what was yelled at them during the halftime speech, but you could see kind of the like were in the same spots. They were still doing what they needed to do, but you saw the confidence in order to like make chances, right? You saw the composure of, our first goal of the season wasn't pretty. It was off the goalkeeper, but
Yeah.
like we get what we get, and we stayed composed and we still got it. So obviously, heartbreaker should have been a win. We gotta. I'm still gonna blame the defense and not the goalie here, but they get the win in the extra time. So
Yeah, I will say this, the equalizer from Tampa Bay was incredible. At the death, it was awesome, and do you think Tampa Bay am I sleeping on them? I had them, I think, 7th in my preseason ranking. Am I sleeping on them? Do you think they'll be a dark horse this season?
it's week one. Who knows? But
It's a
I
yes
thought
or
they
no
looked.
question, Justin, come on. Come on.
I I thought they looked better than Brooklyn. I thought they looked better than.
Yeah.
I thought they played really well. I thought they were quick. I'd like to see them play somebody who I'm not rooting actively for. Um,
True,
but
true.
they're really quick, and they're obviously, like, resilient. You don't score in the 93rd minute without, like, keeping your head up, trying to score, not giving up on yourselves. So, I think they're a good team. I think they could be really good this season. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll be interested to see that. And then finally, we had a Florida derby, Sporting Jacks and Fort Lauderdale. Sporting Jacks made the playoffs last year, um, but this game seemed sort of like a mid-off. Whoa.
Yeah.
Like, I I didn't watch it live, obviously, because I was at, the Power game. Uh, Sort of skimming the highlights. It didn't seem too interesting. Did you watch live, or was it more a highlight? What's Stitch
I
there?
was able to catch some highlights. I mean, it seemed fine. They were pretty short highlights.
Yeah, and
Obviously,
I
like,
think
Bailey Dismit got the goal at the end in the 89th minute, so, like, she obviously did her job. But,
mhm,
I mean, it just
and
wasn't.
I think of the 4 games this weekend in Super League, that one is probably the most, like, had match week 1 feeling.
Mhm.
Just, figuring things out, and that's supposed to happen, like, I know I keep making assumptions and, like, I'm gonna have one more question that's gonna be like, "We're making assumptions from week 1, bro, like, what are you doing, Eddie?" But that was, like, the most feel of, like, "Okay, yeah, this is week 1, people are the wheels are turning, the puzzle pieces are clicking into place." But again, it's a sprint season, so every game matters, so it's huge that, they got the dub there just to see, how the rest of the season goes. But to wrap up this section on Super League, um, and I think we'll talk about Super League pretty often this season. Like, I love this league, and
Yeah.
I've mentioned that several times. It's so fun to follow. I love a niche sports league. I love women's sports. And I love, it's small, so it's easy to know, like, all that's
Yeah.
going on. And so, Justin, this won't be clipped until November, whenever the championship game happens, but I need to know, Justin, it's August 16th, 2026. Write it down. Who's your pick? Who is winning the championship? Well, let's do twofold. Let's do twofold. Who's gonna finish top of the table? So who's gonna get the Players' Shield? I think that's
Okay.
what they call it. President's Trophy, whatever it's called. Who's gonna get the Players' Shield? And then who is winning the championship?
Do we have any reason to believe that Lexington won't just run off with both of these things? I mean, there's no sign
Yeah.
to say. I mean, coming off of that season they had last season, and then just, casual 3-0. I mean, they are probably the favorites to win the season standings
Not even
and the
probably. I think they
championship this
are.
year.
I think they
Yeah.
are.
But I will say, like we talked about earlier, it's like we saw glimpses from teams like Tampa Bay. I mean, Carolina looked good. So, you know, in a playoff format where it's win or go home, it's going to be one of those teams that's like just on a good day that can beat Lexington. So I think that has more of a, and I know yes or no answers only, but I think I, f- I can see them getting thrown into the playoffs. I don't see the regular season them faltering at all with the way that they played yesterday, if
Yeah.
that's any sign.
I'm also thinking Lexington's gonna win the table. And just like last year in playoffs, it's looking like they will just because it's only 2 games. You just have to win 2 games after the regular season, and I think it's looking at like that to be the case. Now, do I want the Trinity to somehow finish first so they can host the championship? Yes, because
I do.
I would love an excuse to go to Dallas to go to that championship game. Um,
Absolutely.
but I think Lexington is just they're just wow. And we'll see what happens as who knows, maybe every time we start to, hype people up, they immediately start losing. So
I literally
I'm
texted
looking at you,
you.
Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I'm looking at
We
you,
were talking
San
about all
Jose.
bro. Every
Um,
single time. I literally texted you on Friday, and I was like, or Thursday, and I was like, "We have to stop hyping people up
and
because
I said
Tampa
it was a
Bay
cup game.
just lo."
It was a cup game,
Yeah.
so it's fine.
Uh,
And even at that, it was an elimination cup game. It was a quarterfinal. So like
yeah.
do with that information what you will. Um, a new thing we're introducing, sort of like a top 5 observations, things that we found interesting, things that we need to discuss.
Yep.
First up, I got home from the game last night. I turned on MLS 360 to see none other than Nashville's up on Miami in MLS 4-1. What's up with that, Justin?
I mean, I don't know why we would be surprised. Nashville coming into the World Cup break was hot. Obviously, like, with Surge winning MLS Player of the Month, I think twice, maybe just the once, but
I mean, he's a dog, so
we shouldn't be surprised that they're having all the success, but it does kind of feel like it's out of left field, right? Like does kind of feel like Nashville of all places is having this kind of success. But 4-1 against Miami, I mean, that's impressive.
yeah, and here's the thing about Nashville. They are such an interesting team to me because here's the thing. They're top of the Eastern Conference right now. They win games, and that one was a total domination. And so most of their wins have been total dominations. But they're a very beatable team.
Yeah.
I've watched DC United play them twice this season. Both times have been draws. The first time we were up 2-0, and then Hefty got a second yellow card in the 75th minute, and Nashville came back to tie it up 2-2, and thankfully we got the point. 2 weeks ago, um, they come to DC. We're down 2-0 at half, and we come back, and it's 2-2, and this is, like, the best atmosphere that I've seen in Audi Field all season, for DC United. And so at both of those games, I was really like, "We should have won." Like, DC United totally could have beat them. And I've seen that just several times in Nashville games that I've watched. And so everyone's on the Nashville train, the hype train. I don't think I'm on it. I think they'll end up getting the supporters shield. I hate that how all the leagues have different names for it. I get confused, but I think it's supporters shield. And I think it's like a second round exit for like if DC United stay in this ninth spot and Nashville's number 1 and DC United beat number 8 and our first round matchup, especially a 3-game matchup with Nashville, give me DC United.
I think that I think you're a
And
little
this is not me
biased
being
here.
a delusional fan. This is not
I
me being a delusional fan. Did you watch either of those games, Justin? Us against
No,
Nashville?
but not
Bro, go watch
live,
the highlights.
no.
Go watch the highlights. Genuinely, I think Nashville is a very beatable team. Mark that, write that down. I hope they prove me wrong. They and don't let me and I brought this up because they absolutely just mollywopped against Miami. But
Right,
Miami's a whole 'nother thing. They're absolutely a beatable team. But we everyone knows that.
right.
Everyone's like, "Oh, Nashville, Nashville, Nashville." Rightfully so. They're top of the Eastern Conference. Very beatable team. That's my take. Write it in, pencil it down,
I will.
and, you've got access to make a reel to embarrass me about this later, but I'm not
I
on the
will.
Nashville hype train.
Well, I think you should. I think that they're good. I think they got some dogs in their team.
I
I
just
think
missed it. The
that
chugga, 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 chugga,
gone, huh?
chugga, chugga. And then
I
right before the choo choo, I run away.
well, teach your own, but I think everything Nashville's got going on right now, and I think where they play, I think the jerseys, I think the players, I think the coaching. I don't see any reason to say that they wouldn't be like progress. They're making at least a deep playoff run. They're definitely not getting tossed by an eighth seed DC United team.
Well, technically 9th seed, and we would have to win the play-in spot.
Right.
I think they're gonna get bounced. Anyways,
I think you're
Justin,
insane.
I do wanna bring this up. Last week, when we were predicting games, you said Corpus Christi by 3.
Yeah,
They got
they're
3
good.
goals. They did not win by 3, thankfully. I'm not
I
gonna have to take out a
I
loan to go to
was ready
Corpus.
to pledge my allegiance to Corpus Christi if they won 3-0.
I pledge
Uh,
allegiance to the Corpus Christi.
that was about to be me. I was about to have to do that. I made a promise. They did score 3 goals. Luckily, it was 3-2 by the end of it, but hey, they might not have made my number 1 spot, but I might be messing with those Sharks.
Hey,
I might be messing with those Sharks down south.
if they keep climbing they could host a playoff game, and I think we should go.
If we can, I
Like, depending I might look at the USL League One, like, schedule for playoffs, and if we could make it happen, we should totally go to Corpus.
why wouldn't we?
You could drive, and I'll just fly in.
Yeah, it's that
I think
easy.
we might have to. Corpus, they're climbing. I don't see
Yeah,
them slowing down anytime
they're red
soon.
hot. I like them a lot.
Um, speaking of red
Let's
hot,
talk about a team that's not red hot.
oh, I was gonna say, speaking of red hot, the red and black, DC United can't stop tying. Oh my goodness. I just have to talk about this. Of our last 12 games, and I recognize this is not a DC United podcast, but I'm a DC United fan, and this is our podcast. We talk about whatever we want to. So I'm gonna talk
Shoot.
about it. The last 12 games, DC United has only lost 1. Have you seen this? Of the last 12 games, DC United has only lost 1.
Yeah, it's kind of impressive, actually.
Only 3 of them have been wins. 8 of them draws. We should have won that game first game against Nashville, and we should have beat Montreal when they were at home, not this weekend. We honestly should have lost to Montreal because that was bad. We win those 2 games, I think we're sitting in the 5th seed, in the 5th spot. It's because
Yeah.
the East is so open right now, and so that's why it just makes me so mad that they can't win. But DC United, I'm glad they're getting the ties because last season, they would get crushed. They would give up. They wouldn't get the point. I'm glad we're getting the points, but, like, come on, boys. Orlando keeps climbing. Orlando keeps playing well, and I'm really scared for when we play Orlando because that game will be in Orlando, later this season.
What a surprise on that. Like, obviously, like, they signed Griezmann, but that's all they did.
Ye I just wanna say, I said this last week in my solo pod, right at the beginning of the World Cup break. I said if there's any team in the Eastern
You did.
Conference that's gonna climb their way up, it's Orlando, and it's
So I
looking
guess
like it.
the answer to my question is I said, "Who saw this coming?" You saw here. Here's your flowers. Here
Edward
you go.
Glenn Michel saw it coming. Thank you very much. Um, I just wanna talk about this game just because, like, I I can't go into depth about it because I wasn't, like, locked in because this was 11 o'clock last night. Like, I just got home from the game. Did you pay attention at all to the Birmingham and Colorado game?
No, we were talking about it, but I was locked in
Bro,
on the Super League games.
bro, this game was crazy. So,
Yeah.
I turn it on, it's 1-0 Colorado, like, 75th minute, and I'm like, "Oh, Birmingham has a red card." I have a soft spot for the Legion just because I love Birmingham, would
Yeah, they're
totally live in
cold.
Birmingham. I would totally live in Birmingham. But it's 1-0, red card, and so I have MLS 360 on the other TV. I'm just kinda scrolling. I'm doom scrolling, classic Saturday night activities. And I look up, it's the, like, 88th minute or whatever, I'm like, "Whoa, it's 2-1 Legion. What happened? What in the world is going on?" So I text my buddy who lives in Birmingham. I let him know this. He's like, "Those are my boys." He doesn't really follow soccer. He just, it's like, "Oh, those are my boys."
Those are
And I was like, "But there's 11 minutes of stoppage time." So I don't know what all went down, There'd be 11 minutes because I was just doom scrolling, not paying attention. And Colorado comes back and wins 3-2. Um, and also got a red card. Both teams got a red card in that game, and Colorado got it in stoppage time, but they had already went up 3-2, I think,
Right.
got that red card, so it's just kind of cool. It's 10v10, like, congratulations. Um, and so that was just insane, absolutely insane. I love every time I put on a random USL game, like, that I don't, like, fully care about, something crazy
Yeah.
like that's happening. Think Oaken Roots earlier this season, against
Earlier this season, not right now. Golly.
yeah, your Oakland boys. It was just I turned that game on, I was like, what is going on?" Like, when I tuned in, like, "What in the world is going
Yeah.
on?" But I
But
love this league so much.
isn't that the beauty of the USL though? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
like,
awesome.
people always debate, like, the whole NFL college football thing, but, like, I can have the same thing with MLS, like,
Yeah, facts.
USL. Like, these guys are obviously not playing in the top league in their country, and they want to be. So it's kinda got this, like, we're gonna play out, but you have to play as a team, like, it's still a competitive league. Anything can happen, and I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, so there's just a lot going on in the
Mhm.
soccer world this week. But let me be clear, let us be clear, this is an American soccer podcast. We talk about American soccer. However, this coming weekend is the beginning of the Premier League 2026-2027 campaign. And I know I've talked about where my affinities lie. Today, I was repping my Fulham boys
Mm.
for the pod today, um, heading into this Premier League starting this week. Justin, should you let everyone know where your affinities lie?
Yeah, I'm gonna take some. I can already see the hate comments. I'm a Chelsea fan, so
I could have some choice words for
you have.
Chelsea.
I
I've
don't know
said it
why.
before. This is a family-friendly podcast, so, but in case you didn't know, uh, this coming weekend, weekend, opening game for both of our teams are against each other at the Cottage. And so, you know, we hyped up the probably soccer derby earlier this year with United versus FC Dallas. Probably won't hype it up too much on the socials for Chelsea and Fulham.
Probably not.
But I just, I need to take time we love the beautiful game. We
Yep.
love the Premier League. I love Fulham. You love Chelsea. Justin, I feel like we need to have like a wager of some kind. What should we do?
Yeah, I've got. We were talking about this. I've got no idea. You were talking about like how much you hate Chelsea, and I'm like, yeah, I like Fulham. We watched them at Suzy Q's. Shout out Suzy Q's.
That's right. You came to a Fulham watch party, but just don't tell people in London that you're fine with Fulham. Even though I
I
mean
would never
Chelsea,
do that.
like Fulham hates Chelsea, but Chelsea's kind of like, oh, it's just a little brother situation. And so
It's kind
I
of like
hope,
FC Dallas with DC United.
no, the Chelsea and Fulham stadiums are a mile and a half away from each other, and Audi Field to Toyota Field is 1,100 miles, maybe closer to 1,200.
I was just thinking because every time your team comes into my team's place, you lose. So I figured it was like the
We
same
don't have
thing.
to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, I just want to say, uh, up the Fulham, come on you whites, and go Cottagers. Fulham by 90 on Monday,
I really hope that you get everything you deserve in this game.
and which would be a win, a beautiful, beautiful win. Speaking of
You
beautiful,
probably will.
beautiful wins,
Hey, I love
speaking of
Chelsea, but Chelsea doesn't love me. You might win on Saturday.
Monday, Monday.
Monday.
Thankfully, I'm traveling back from home on Monday, so I'll be able to watch the game and not have to secretly have it up at work. Speaking of beautiful, beautiful wins,
Mhm.
I think it's time that we make some predictions of some interesting games that we've got coming up this weekend. Um, we're recording this before the Richmond Kickers play tonight and break our
Go Kickers.
hearts. I hope the Kickers win by 4 against
Do
Omaha
it for the
tonight.
Kickaroo.
Please do it. So starting off in the USL world, USL Championship, this one seems very interesting. uh, Tampa Bay Rowdies and Detroit City FC. I believe it's number 1 versus number 4
Yep.
in the Eastern Conference. Justin, what's your pick?
We talked about last week how good Tampa is.
Mhm.
I don't see them losing 2 in a row, and I know they're in separate leagues, and this isn't a cup final, but, you take those things personally when you're a good team. I don't see Tampa slowing down. They should win this. I would say 2-1 Tampa. I think Detroit City will get a goal. They keep scoring, and they keep winning. Like, this seems really good,
Mhm.
but I'd say 2-1. 2-1 Tampa.
And I am gonna say a 3-2 Tampa win.
Wow.
I was leaning towards a draw, but I say draw too much on this. So I'm going with 3-2 Tampa on Saturday. Moving over to the MLS. This next one will be very interesting. Number 1 versus number 2 in the Western Conference, notably at the number 1 spot, the Houston Dynamo. Who is expecting that? Versus the Vancouver Whitecaps. Justin, what's your pick?
Well, Eddie, I'm from Dallas, Texas, and Dallas,
Thank you for
Texas is
clarifying.
in the United States of America. So
Right.
what you're asking me to do right now is choose Canada or Houston.
Which do you hate more?
Mm, equally. So it's going to be a 0-0 draw. That's my hope. I hope 11 red cards and a 0-0 draw. That's my hope.
Yeah, so I've watched this Houston team play in person. Watched them against DC United. Another draw, 1-1 draw. Anyways, sorry I'm still so fired up about that. Um, Houston is either very good or pretty mid,
Very
depending
streaky.
on how they play. I This game's definitely in Vancouver on Wednesday because it starts at 10:30 Eastern,
Yeah.
and so I'm leaning towards Vancouver, but because of where my, loyalties lie and where I'm from, I'm going 2-1 Houston over Vancouver.
I will say, all jokes aside, I really like this Vancouver team.
True. But
Yeah,
Rip
they're
Berhalter now in
they're fun.
Middlesbrough.
Yeah,
They did lose Berhalter, which sucks.
I love them.
Finally, in WSL action,
Mhm.
Seattle Reign versus Racing Louisville. This has been really interesting. Louisville, very rough start to the season, and also their owner has sort of been in the headlines recently for kind of teasing like, yeah, they need to start winning. I need to start making money, or we might have to move. So that's been interesting. And then Seattle Reign was doing pretty well for a while. Now they sort of dropped down. So both of these teams have something to prove, Justin.
Yeah.
And so what is your prediction for Seattle Reign versus Racing Louisville?
Yeah, Louisville's been hot. I think they're both coming off of a win,
Mhm.
but I'd love to see Louisville keep going. I mean, just for the sake of, like, obviously, they've got the men's team and the women's team. It's I want them to continue to win. So I'll say
And the
1-0
UFL team.
Louisville.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Um, I I'm going back and forth. And so
It's
maybe
a hard
because
one.
of that, I'm gonna go 1-1 draw for Seattle Reign and Louisville. 1-1 draw. They're both gonna have really solid goals, and it's gonna, show that they're improving. But I think it's gonna be 1-1 draw. And book it. Write it down. That's what it's gonna be. Um, but sweet. I think that'll do it for
Yeah,
this week's episode of Probably
great
Soccer.
pod.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please make sure you subscribe, comment, like, follow us on Instagram at Probably Soccer Pod. And Justin, what is the word? The last word.
I've got a couple words, but I need the Kickers to win. I need FC Dallas tonight to beat that damn team from down south. I hate them. They've got aura, though. I hate them. So please win. Please win. That's my bag. And hey, what an amazing start to Super League sprint season.
Yeah, it'll be really funny when we post this after both of those teams lose tonight.
Please
But
don't
it's gonna
remind
be a
me.
great week of soccer. Thanks everyone for listening. And yeah, please subscribe, like, comment, and this is Probably Soccer.